Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil SUnder Raj for the Everyday Fan Sports. Today, I have the honor of speaking with Jerome Blake, a member of Team Canada's 4x100 meters men's relay team that won the gold medal at the World Athletics Championship at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon last weekend. Jerome, once again, thank you, for the opportunity. Congratulations to you and the rest of Team Canada's men's relay team. The first gold, medal and also world championship in 25 years. I mean, said a huge moment. Just right off the bat, if you could just talk about how much this means to you personally and the rest of the team and also the country of Canada.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Because the 4x1 is one of those things. It's pretty much the same thing as 100 meters. The 4x1 brings the same excitement as 100 meters because it's when the four fastest people line up and execute a very weird task of passing a stick without having like anything attached to it but your bare hands. So it's a very fun event, and it brings a lot of excitement to track and field. We were laughing the other day and saying, what if they had a mixed 4x1, just like they got the mixed relays and stuff like that? That would be pretty interesting to see. So but yeah, with Canada, it's actually 26 years. Actually, it's 26.
Okay.
So last year at the Olympics was the 25th year, and that was actually the same year that they won in Atlanta. It was around this. I think it was like the Olympics was like 2 days before they won their gold. So we were running 2 days before they won their gold. So we really wanted to win for them, just pay homage to that four right there, because our head coach of Team Canada is actually one of the guys who ran on that team.
Oh wow, that's an interesting story. Thanks, for sharing that. That's fantastic. And let's, I was reading up on the notes is that you guys had to qualify for these finals and actually had the third fastest time. Can you just talk about that component as well, Jerome?
Yeah. Like with the 4x1, the most important thing is getting to the finals in an automatic position, which is top two in the next. Actually, it's top three in the next best three.
Okay.
So our main objective was to make it into finals. We weren't really pressing about winning and none of that stuff, winning the heat or none of that. Our main objective was just to make it in the semis, through the semis and get into the finals. And then that's when we go for broke. So basically in the semis, we compressed our marks just to get the baton around the track safely. We did just that because we knew we were in a heat where we could make it out very easily. And, it wasn't very stacked. And, we did our thing, get through to the finals. And then, Team USA was just behind us. So our main objective was to, put as much pressure on the rest of the field as possible, which is, run very fast legs and, see what we can do when the time adds up and, where we end up after that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. Hey, let's talk about your teammates, Aaron Brown, Brendan Rodney, Andre DeGrasse. I mean, Andre, anchored the quartet, a photo finish. Just talk about you guys won in a record, not only world record, but Canadian record, 37.48 seconds. Just a really exciting race. It said it came right down to the wire. It said where Andre got past American anchor Marvin Bracey, beat him by, I think it was 0.7 of a second. And you played a pivotal role in this race, Jerome. You ran 8.86 on the second leg of the race. Just talk about the race itself.
I mean, yeah, the thing is, like with me, it's one of those things where my teammate was saying, it almost takes somebody to make me mad for me to run fast, So, I had the individual events. I didn't do very well in the 100, made it to the semifinals and the 200. So I was a little bit upset at the fact that I didn't get to do what I really wanted to in the individual events. And then when my teammates came back and said, "Hey, somebody said they're going to run you down in the backstretch," and I said, "Okay, fine." So and then I was just buzzing after that. I was, I was making sure, I was like, listen, if you're gonna run me down, my legs are gonna fall off today. So, I made it my objective to, once watch Aaron come in and, once he hit that check mark, I move up the check mark as hard as possible, and then once I hit that check mark, he called me and I put my hand back. And after that, it was just blurry after that because I was trying to get to Brendan as fast as possible. And once I hand off to Brendan, I was just yelling behind him, "Go, go." I think I ran about 200 meters. I ran all the way around to like 120, 130 on the turn. And then, I was looking from the side and I couldn't really see who was winning. So I looked on the big screen behind me, but I couldn't really see because it's such a weird angle out. And so I was like looking, and I saw Andre celebrating, running around the turn. I was just like, oh, I think we won. So everyone's like, yeah, Canada. So I started running too, started running all the way down to the finish line, started celebrating with the rest of the guys. And, it was just a memorable moment for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. It talk about that. There's a great photo of you guys draped in the Canadian flag. Just talk about. I mean, not in tons of Canadian fans in the stands as well. Just talk about that moment. Just a surreal moment, but just, again, as you alluded to, a memorable moment and something that will, of course, be taught for a long time to come. Just talk about that, Jerome.
Yeah. So. The cool, and it was pretty cool just to see all of them cheering and stuff like that. And in Japan last year at the Olympics, we thought we could have won that as well. So we were super focused on winning, and it just didn't happen there. So for us, it was just to come back here and do it in the fashion that we did it it's even more special. The fact that we did it in front of such a huge Canadian crowd, so close to home. So it felt super special to us. So we were all just very happy and just excited about the win for sure.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Hey, I believe was this your first World Athletics Championship, or have you participated in others? I was just wondering, Jerome.
No, that was my first one. That's my first
that was
time.
your first. So just talk about that. I think you were among 56 athletes representing the country. Just talk about that as well. That dynamic.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Team Canada is, they have such a cool dynamic of where they never try to push an athlete through the system very fast. They try to, if they really think you need to gain the experience, they'll make sure you gain the experience before they push you through. You know what I mean? So with me, I made the team in 2019 for the relays, and I didn't run in Doha. I went, even though I was running very fast in training, looking very good. They said, we don't think you're ready yet. So, I didn't run. And in 2020, of course, COVID happened, but we didn't really get to, do the things we really wanted to. So I know I had to, come back out and make sure I know, that I'm one of those guys that they can look at and say, hey, like, okay, we can put Jerome on the track now. So I figured, once I started running a lot better, it becomes a lot easier now. Like I've learned and I understand what it's going to take for me to be in that position where I need to, produce when the time is right. So, yeah.
I just wanted to backpedal to that process when you're running that 4x100, passing the baton off, because it's critical in terms of the handoff and being able to accelerate. Just talk about that. I just found it so interesting. Just if you can let the viewers out there, know about it as well.
Yeah, no. So like with the second leg, you have to receive and pass as well.
Okay.
So is third as well. You got to receive and pass. So those are two crucial legs. That's really where a lot of mistakes happens and stuff like that. So for us, like our main objective is make sure we're reacting to the check mark very well. So the check mark is the steps you set out for your teammate who's coming towards you to pass the baton off, and you got to make sure you leave when they hit the check mark and just react to the mark very well, and just wait for that person to call you, and make sure you're leaving on time. And once you leave on time, you just got to accelerate, and then once you do that, just get up to speed and look for the runner that you're getting to. That's kind of how it is. And you got to make sure got to call them at a good point, and then make sure you pass the baton off to them, make sure they hold on to it before you let it go. And you got to make sure, as long as you got to make sure the baton's safe. So that's the only thing. You got to make sure it's safe.
That's awesome. Hey, I wanted to, you talked about, I think, head coach Glenroy Gilbert. Just talk about his leadership, what he's meant to, is said, this program, and especially, amongst, as said, with the relay team, the men's relay team. I had to ask you about that.
Yeah, for sure. He's a head coach, and, he's been there. So, been there as an athlete and been there as a coach. So for him, it feels pretty special that, he see this happen again, where a team that he's coached and he's, been working with for so long and he knew that we were capable of doing it. They all knew that we're capable of doing it. It was more or less that, we just got to buy in and execute the way we need to. And I feel like at Worlds, because of everything everyone was going through, Andre got hurt and he wasn't able to run the way he wanted to. I didn't make it through to semifinals. Aaron makes it both finals and didn't get a medal. And, Brendan got hurt and he only made it for the relay. So it's one of those things where, we all were just going through stuff and we all just had something to fight for in the relay where we knew, if we're able to pull that off, it'll be such a tremendous thing. So, our main focus was just make sure we get the baton around the track. And we knew once we do that in the heat and we saw the little mistakes we make, and we just knew once we cleaned it up a little bit, we know we're going to be okay. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. Just how you guys were able to overcome those obstacles. Talk about, just preparing for these races. I'm sure it's different for the 100, 200, but for the relay, just, walk people through that thought process in terms of, the communication amongst your teammates, even before the race starts as well, Jerome.
Yeah, because the races are really late in the afternoon. So usually every morning we have a team meeting with all 9 people. So there's 6 people on the team plus all the coaches, all our relay coaches and the team manager and stuff like that will be at the track. So we have a meeting in the morning. We discuss how we want to run, what we're gonna do, and just discuss anything that was going on with anybody. And we go for lunch together. We have breakfast together as a team, like all 6 of us. And even the people who knew they weren't running, they're all having breakfast. We all had the same mindset, same goal every time. So we knew who was gonna run, and we knew how we want to run, and we know what our objective was. So we all were. Everyone's focus was the same. Even the people who knew they weren't going to run, they're all warming up like they're going to run.
Yeah.
So I think that created a very good dynamic in our team to fight for that gold medal. And we wish, they still give away gold medals for people who didn't run, so that's the one thing, because this is a very special, it was a very special thing. And, we wish like everyone who was there, all the coaches, everybody could get a gold medal as well.
Yeah. Hey, talk about Andre, Brendan, Aaron, I'm sorry, Brendan and Andre, just, in terms of, that friendship, having that bond, having that chemistry with these guys, you've been with them, together for a while. Just talk about that as well, Jerome.
Yeah, no, I think me and Aaron actually train together. We're in the same training group. We got the same coach. So we see each other all the time. So me and him have a really good relationship. The funny thing is he was actually my mentor when I was coming up. So when I was a lot younger, just getting into track and field, he was my mentor. So you always helped me with stuff. Even today, even after my races, my individual races didn't go so well, he was there, coaching me up, telling me like, listen, like this happens, it happened to him in 2016. And, for me, it's like, it's not the end of the road. It's my first world championships running. So I can't beat myself up. So, especially with Andre, he's the energy guy of the group, always got a joke. And, it's always good to just be around all the guys, me. And what I try to do is I don't mind rooming by myself, but sometimes when you go to, meet, you like having a roommate because you don't mind having a conversation every now and then. So, I chose to room with Brendan, and, we'll just talk, go to breakfast, go to lunch, the same thing we did all the time with all the guys that were around. And it was just a lot of fun, just hanging out with everybody and just, we just all have a very, very good chemistry. We know a lot about each other, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's great. Hey, talk about also the reaction from the rest of the Canadian team. Said athletes, coaches as well. That must have been quite a bit of fun as well. Just being able to celebrate. I said this milestone achievement. Just talk about that, Jerome.
Yeah, no, all the coaches, because once when you get a medal and stuff like that, like it's such a major event, you have like media and stuff like that. And I think we spent like 2 hours in the media plus drug testing, all that stuff. Maybe about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
And at this point we ran like 7. And this point it was 10 o'clock, and I thought everyone was gone. And when I came out, when we came out the door, everybody was there. All the athletes that were finished running, the coaches, the team staff, everybody, the team manager, high performance director, everyone was out there celebrating, clapping. And, it was such a huge moment for us, especially when it comes to the relay, because, those guys have been so close, bronze, silver, bronze, never able to, pull off a gold. So for us to pull it off and, in the fashion that we did, it for sure will be very memorable, because the last time they were able to do that was 26 years ago. So it's, as what Donovan Bailey said, it's a historical moment for sure.
Yeah, and it really does take a village. It takes a structure in place, Jerome, really, to have this type of level of success. I just wanted to get your take on that as well, your perspective, because, there's so many people involved from top to bottom. that really play an essential role in terms of the team success.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, our personal coaches, nutritionists, sports psych, team managers,
Mm.
sponsors. There's a lot of people that's in the background that don't really get to, of course they get to celebrate what we've done, but it's not the same. So for me, it's always, bigging up all the people in the background, the coaches, staff, team members, everybody who make everything comes through. Those are people that really deserve. That's what I was saying. If everybody could get a gold medal,
Yeah.
I'd for sure give it to everybody as much as I could. But it's a cool moment for sure.
Yeah. Hey, just have a couple more left, Jerome. Can't thank you enough for the time. And there's no rest for the weary for you. You're off to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England, from July 28th to August 8th. I said representing Canada in the 4x100 relay. Just talk about how exciting that is. Being able to again compete here in the Commonwealth Games.
Actually, like what happened was with the Commonwealth Games. Actually, so Team Canada allow like the top four guys who actually won gold at Worlds. They actually
Okay.
gave us the option to not run. What they wanted to
Okay.
do was they wanted to give a younger group of guys the opportunity. So that's what I was saying. Like when it comes to the exposure and development and like bringing the next group of guys through. So what they're gonna do now is they're gonna bring the next group of guys, which is like the guys who are just they're there. They just need to get
Okay.
the same experience that I got in from 2018. And most of them
Mhm.
actually two of them actually went to Worlds, but they didn't run. So for me, like if we went, they wouldn't have run. That's for sure.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the only thing we could really do was to give them that opportunity. Was hey, we're not going. And they said, okay, cool, that's fine. So what they did was they called those guys up and, they're going to give them the same opportunity. And I feel it's one of the best things you could ever do because it'll for sure
Yeah.
give them the experience they really need. And it'll put them in a very good position to, get, all the funding and all the carding, all that kind of stuff as well to help support what they're trying to do as well. So I think it
Yeah.
was a very big power move on us.
No, definitely a smart idea. You've been on again a remarkable journey the past 9 years here. I had to ask you. I mean, you accomplished and won so many, especially gold medals. And the fact that it's I find really amazing is that you didn't acquire your Canadian citizenship until 2018, and the
Yeah.
fact since then, you've been able to again really excel in terms of competing in these championships. Just talk about, I mean, from where you started to where you are now. I just wondering what comes to your mind, first and foremost, Jerome.
It's funny enough you said that. That is actually so wild just listening to that because, there it was a huge struggle because I remember when I didn't have citizenship, one of the things that Canada has in place, a non-Canadian can't displace a Canadian from a final.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a junior and stuff like that, I run faster than most of the juniors in the country. But because I'm a non-Canadian, I can't make the final. So they would make the teams and they'll go represent Canada and stuff like that. So, I
Mm-hmm.
never get the opportunity. But as soon as I got citizenship, I was able to get invited to all the camps and, invited to all the things that, that will help put me in a good position to help get funded and, card in and go to the camps that I really need to go to put myself in a good position so whenever teams were being picked, my name get tossed in the group as well. So, of course, performances will, trump anything else. So once you start performing, they'll see that kind of stuff and, they'll help out as much as they could. And, thankful for the people I had around me. They're the ones who really pushed me to the level I'm at right now. Because if it wasn't for them, I'm not sure what I would be doing right now, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's outstanding. Hey, when you won that gold in the 100 200 meters 2017 Canada Summer Games, just talk about how the electric that was, for you, Jerome. Being able to win gold, and it just, I'm sure for you, not only Canada but also your family as well. How special that moment was.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool because you know what that the Canada Summer Games are one of the things that they use to really filter out like the next up and coming athletes who they could really look at to bring in. And it's actually pretty cool because that's really where it all started for me. I went to Canada Games and I ran very fast and everyone was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like maybe maybe you actually could do this. So,
Yeah.
that's where it all started. And, thankful for, an event like Canada Summer Games that has helped, a lot of people. Because right now, like I know a lot of people who play different sports. For instance, soccer, there's like three girls who I went with on Team BC. One of them plays for PSG and the next one plays for Juventus. So it's actually
Hmm.
pretty cool to see how far, an event like that will push athletes to be better. And, I'm a very big, supporter of Canada Games for sure.
Yeah. And I know again, you've competed in so many, prestigious, events, but I know that 2020 Summer Games in Tokyo definitely is going to, resonate with you, forever. Just talk about what that meant, to be on that relay team and, said winning silver.
Yeah, that was such a surreal moment,
Mhm.
because the Olympics are the it's a pinnacle of track and field or any sport really that goes to the Olympics. So for me, it meant so much just, going to an event like that, especially since it's something that I've always wanted to do ever since I was such a young kid. So for me, it meant a lot. And I was just out there just having fun and just enjoying the moment. And it was a lot of fun.
That's great. I'm wondering, for you, what makes running so special? I said there's so much that goes into it. You talked about the training, the camps. I'm just wondering for you in the moment, like, said when you're there, said on the relay team or in a 100 or 200-meter race, just for you, what's going through your mind in terms of, said running? I had to ask you about that, Jerome.
Really, like when it go on the start line, we go blank and just focus on just executing the race as best as possible. But
Hmm.
I think it's just the thrill of running fast. It's almost like you just know that was fast just based off
Hmm.
how it feels, how smooth, and it's kind of a weird context. In track and field, I've always tell people fast is slow and slow is fast, and they're like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "The slower it feels, the faster you're running it, because that really
Yeah.
means everything's going in the right direction."
Hmm.
Whenever
Yeah.
something feels fast, it's not fast. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is. So,
Yeah. That's great. Hey, I don't want to forget about your family. You said you were born in Jamaica. It said moved to, Canada in 2013. Your mother and your brother. Just talk about the support from them and just, along this journey, Jerome.
yeah, no, my family, I have a very big family and everyone supports me. My dad is British, so he's very
Okay.
biased that I should run it. But it's one of those things where they all support me. They all support what I've been doing, and they're very happy and very supportive of what I've achieved so far, and they keep pushing me to keep striving for more, and and stay focused and just stay hungry, because the more hungry you are, the harder you work, and the
Yeah.
more you achieve if you fight for it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Hey, I'm reading the story about you were initially a hurdler and then you switched to, of course, sprinting after a coach, spotted you, testing your speed on the track. And you were supervising actually your brother on the soccer field. I had to ask you about that moment, Jerome.
Yeah. That's such a funny. So like this when I just moved to Kelowna, Canada. Like my older brother will go play soccer on Sunday, so I go with my little brother. So we're just on this field while
Yeah.
they're playing. And me and my little brother was just messing around and racing, just playing. And this lady was like, "It's like, do you run?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm a jumper." So I used to do
Mhm.
hurdles and high jump and long jumps. I'm a jumper. She's like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Jamaica." She's like, "Nah, you're a sprinter." And I was like, "I can't." So she's like, "Come to practice," and I was like, "Okay." So I started going to track practice, and and it was very hard at first because she was teaching me stuff that I had no clue about, and I just took it day by day, and
Mhm.
a couple years later, she was telling me like, "I think you're gonna go to the Olympics in 2020," and I was like, "Sure, okay." Okay, so. And then, yeah, it turns out she was right. I went to the Olympics in 2020 and won a medal, and now I'm one of the fastest guys in the country and the world. So it's a pretty
Yeah.
interesting thing for sure.
That's outstanding. Hey, I you talked about Donovan Bailey and that component of back in '96 about dreaming of competing, for Team Canada. To see it actually come to fruition, I mean, again, just it's got to give you goosebumps. The fact that you put on that Team Canada, said uniform jersey. Just talk about what that represents to you personally, Jerome.
Yeah, for sure. Competing for Canada is one of those tremendous things. they love you regardless, win or lose. Everyone's supporting you, because they know what it's like as an athlete. Because Canada is a very athletic country. There's a lot of people play a lot of sports up there, so it's pretty
Hmm.
cool to see, that they support you regardless how it is, and it feels more like your family supports you, not a country.
Yeah,
So it's actually a
yeah,
pretty special feeling, and a very exciting time, especially when it
yeah,
comes to sports in Canada. So it's always a big, big support and, lots of love. So that's the one thing
yeah.
I love about competing for Canada for sure.
Yeah, they're very passionate when it comes to sports. I love some of your hobbies, Jerome, an actor in film and TV, doing some modeling and stand-up comedy. That's something. Those are great.
Hey,
I said careers to fall back on.
you know what? I've told everybody. I'm probably the most. I'm like a what is that thing? I'm like, I tell everybody I'm a pocket knife. A little pocket knife with all the little things in there. That's
A
me.
trick of all trades.
Yeah. Hey, but still, hey, a jack of all trades is still better than a
Yeah,
master of one.
a
So
jack of all trades.
yeah,
No, that's wonderful. Hey, I think you're in a great spot. Before you get the last word here, Jerome, your advice, for those younger kids and athletes, who'll be watching this interview, what would you say to them in terms of moving up the ladder? I mean, we all know how competitive it's out there. Just it's not easy to navigate. I said those waters, especially in this day and age. And we talked about before we came on the air with social media. There's so many outside influences, but just what would you say to the kids out there?
for sure. With performance sports and anything really, you always have a lot of people who saying, oh, they know this, they know that, and they know how to help you to get this, and they know how to help you to get this. But the most important thing I would say for any young athlete coming up, find a group of people you can trust, which is a group of people is 2 people or 3 people, which is friends, close family members. Keep them tight. Make sure you can fall back on them whenever things don't go so well. Because one of the things about sports is you have to learn to be disappointed and understand what disappointment really feels like. And that's one of the biggest things a lot of people run away from is being disappointed or losing. Because people always say, oh, like I hate to lose. But the thing is, to be a professional athlete and to be one of the best in the world, you have to learn to lose before you can learn to win and
Mhm.
understand what losing feels like and know what losing means. And again, I always tell you, there's no losing, there's only learning. So you learn from the mistakes you've made. So,
Yeah,
I've always say, like, one of the big things you can do is find a good coach you can trust, work as hard as you can. Don't leave any stone unturned, because you want to make sure once you finish, you want to look back on it and say, I've done every single thing I possibly can to make this dream come true. And if it doesn't happen, at least you've tried. I've always say, like, shoot for the clouds. I mean, actually, no, shoot for the stars, shoot for
yeah,
the moon. Land in the
yeah,
clouds, you're still pretty high anyways. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
So that's kind of how I see it. So I always shoot for the moon whenever I'm doing anything. But if you land in the clouds, you're still pretty high. So
yeah.
regardless of how it ends up, like if you make it to pros or not, or you come away with 100 medals or 1 medal, at the end of the day, you're still pretty far ahead than most people. So just look at it like that.
Yeah, well said. Great advice. Yeah, as said you've offered, Jerome. Okay, you get the final word here. A message for family, friends, teammates, coaches, countries of Jamaica and Canada, and also Team Canada. I give you the floor, Jerome.
Yeah, no, one thing I want to say, thank you to all my supporters, family, friends, team staff, managers, coaches, everybody, who's helped me along with this journey, because, it takes a village, not just one person. So for me, I'm thankful for all of them every day.
It's just an incredible honor and privilege, Jerome. Said I really enjoyed this interview, and again, wishing you continued success. Running, said for Team Canada, the 100 and 200 meters, as well as the 4 by 100 relay team as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.